The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/expat2020. Hey everybody, this is The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. I'm Expat2020. This is episode 5, and along with my co-host Dan. Dan, how you doing today, man?
Yeah, not too bad, man. What's new with you?
Just a sweltering bit of heat here, as usual, 35 plus degrees. Or in America, we would say about 95 and 80% humidity.
It's good. It's getting warm here too as well, actually. Yeah, should be good.
Yeah. And today we actually have a special guest with us. He's from the community of gamers, and actually a few months ago I was, browsing the Twitch channels and checking out some people playing Bloodborne, Dan.
Oh,
and,
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually ran into someone who was playing Bloodborne, and it was interesting because I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and in baseball, there is a huge rivalry in the United States between the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I was browsing through the channels, watching people, and I stumbled upon this one channel, and this guy was playing Bloodborne, and he was wearing a Dodger hat, and I thought that was pretty interesting, and we started to chat and get to know each other, and he's become a really good friend, and he's a member of the community of gamers. CorelianJedi, welcome to the show today, man.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing good. So how about introducing yourself and a little bit about yourself and what type of games you like to play?
Yeah, sure. So, as I said, I'm CorelianJedi, streamer. Outside of the streaming world, I'm a producer, project manager in the video game industry. That's probably why I love games so much. The games that I play, it's a huge variety. As you saw, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Cuphead, the ones that really make you question why you're playing the game. Also, I kind of spread around everywhere. Zelda, NBA 2K, whatever's out there. I'm very open, and I just try anything, whatever's fun, honestly.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, welcome to the show today. And before we jump into what we have been playing, I want to let everybody know where you can find the podcast. If you would like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free, along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. To listen on iOS and Android podcast services, you can download the Podbean app for free and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, or you could go directly to expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us there. And finally, the podcast is also uploaded to my YouTube channel at Expat2020 Gaming, so you can go there to listen and subscribe and click that notification bell for future podcast episodes. Okay, so let's get into what we're playing. Dan, are you still playing Doom Eternal, man?
I am playing Doom Eternal. Yeah, that's lots of fun. A bit disappointing in many ways, I have to be honest. But gameplay wise, yeah, I'm still rocking it. It's a mixed bag, I gotta say. I hope the inevitable Doom 3 will be a bit more like Doom 2016. So, yeah. What about you?
How far are you through the story now?
I'm not entirely sure. For people who've played the game, they'll know. So I just destroyed the Super Gore Nest, and now I'm going through the Ark facility looking for Samuel Hayden, who's a character from the first game. So that's where I am. So if you've played the game, you'll be like, oh, no, you got loads left. But that's where I am.
I see. Cool. And Jedi, what have you been playing recently?
So recently, I have been playing Persona 5. Recently tried to get into that first Persona game I've ever tried. And honestly, that game feels like an anime with a lot of story and very little gameplay, so I might give it a few more tries. Alternatively, I went back to God of War, the last God of War that came out. Some reason my save file got deleted, so starting from scratch on the hardest difficulty, just revisiting the mechanics there, and that smooth game. It's beautiful. Other than that, I want to say I touch Dark Souls 3 when I feel good about myself, and as soon as I don't, I just kind of put it to the side and go on to something like Fall Guys.
Hmm. I see. Yeah, that's what I've been playing. I've just been getting into a little bit more of Fall Guys. I'm like up to level 5, I think it is now, but still no crowns. I'm hoping to get one someday. So
Man,
actually, Tim the Tap Man, he actually finally got a crown, so he got all the publicity for that. But yeah, it's fun to play. It's a little frustrating at times, especially grabbing the tails and for example, people pushing you off the ledges and things like that. So, yeah, that's the only frustrating thing about it. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun to play. So, yeah, that's what I have been playing.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's doing really well. It's blowing up the game, isn't it? Everyone's playing it. Well, I suppose everyone who's
yeah.
got
Well,
a PS4
still,
and a PS Plus account, everyone's on it.
yeah. What do you think, Jedi? I mean, a lot of streamers are still into it too, right? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people are you look on it on a daily, and I would say a good at least quarter to a third of people are playing Fall Guys. Their whole marketing strategy coming out the gate was let streamers try it in beta, and then just market to them, and it just kind of kept going. The whole Tim the Tatman
Yeah.
marketing trash down was just the best type of marketing for both the game and Tim the Tatman. He got such high viewers trying to hunt that crown, and it was just kind of a perfect marriage that came up.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. Okay. So let's jump into some of the news stories for this week. So, first on the list today, so there's about 6 news items before we get to the topic of the show. So, the first news story, Ghost of Tsushima will get a new cooperative multiplayer mode later this year, one that expands the lore of the PlayStation 4 action adventure set in feudal Japan. So basically, Ghost of Tsushima Legends is what it's going to be called, is exclusively a co-op multiplayer mode. It supports matchmaking for groups of 2 to 4 players. Players may choose from 4 character classes: Samurai, Hunter, Ronin, and Assassin. Sucker Punch says it will divulge more about the class's capabilities later. So, I'm really looking forward to this. Actually, I still haven't finished the campaign. I need to get back and do that. Jedi, you finished it, right? You finished the campaign.
Yeah, I did. It was a great game. This was the first game that I platinumed. I'm not sure I'm going to go back for the multiplayer until I hear more details, but absolutely, it was a great game.
Yeah. And Dan, I know you're interested in playing this. What do you think of the multiplayer mode that's going to be coming out for it?
I don't know. I haven't played the original game yet, so I can't really say. But it strikes me as a bit weird because it seems, from what the premise seems to be, that you're this lone samurai going up against the odds to do something amazing. And I don't know how much of that charm will be lost by having a wingman. I don't know. It just makes me nervous because famously they did this with Dead Space 3 and kind of killed the game. But I don't know. I'm sure it'll be brilliant if you're into that sort of thing. But as an antisocial gamer like myself, it's has zero interest really.
I see. Well, yeah, I mean, the multiplayer mode is, it's going to be free for all PlayStation 4 players too. So, I mean, it won't hurt to jump in and give it a try, I think. So,
yeah, it wouldn't be any detriment to the existing game. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of feels like Bioshock 2 was a multiplayer. Had really nothing to do with the core main game at all. Just same mechanics thrown into multiplayer. Wasn't really well received, but at the same time didn't take away from what the core game is. It could be good for them. It could be something that extends the life of the game.
I mean, that's purely why it exists, isn't it? I mean, it exists just to keep people from trading it in, B, to create constant streaming revenue, to create perhaps more. There'll be more like DLC, like additional stuff, like down the line, like maybe microtransactions. I don't know.
Yeah, it could evolve into that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. Another game has been delayed. So Deathloop, the next game from Dishonored and Prey makers Arcane Studios, is delayed until spring 2021. So in a message sent by Twitter, Arcane attributed the delay to work disruptions caused by the global COVID-19 pandemic. So, I mean, yeah, this is just another example of, how COVID is affecting the entire industry. And, Halo, of course, that was, a little bit had to do with COVID, of course, but, it's just, it kind of feels like a domino effect now. It feels like, game after game after game is kind of, leading towards the inevitable delay. So, but from what I take of this, I mean, I don't know if this is really going to affect the launch of the PS4, like as we were talking about last week with Halo, affecting the launch of the Xbox Series X. I mean, I don't think this is going to have any kind of effect on the launch lineup or the launch of the PS5. I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
I mean, I don't think it's going to have any effect on the launch. I mean, the fact that games are being delayed is, being in the industry, seeing how it is, and working in it for the past 4-6 months, I am not surprised. I'm a little surprised that more games haven't been delayed, just because when it comes to crunch in a game, you need to be with each other, and being separated in the COVID area, it's just not. You lose so much time and value. That said, the only thing that's going to hurt the PS5 launch is if Miles Morales gets delayed.
Yeah, that's what Dan and I we were talking about that last week in the sense that just think if Miles Morales gets delayed, then that kind of evens things out a bit. I mean, when it comes to launch title lineup, but I don't know, Dan. What about you, man?
Yeah, I don't even know what Deathloop is. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant though, and I'm glad there's going to be time to fix it over during a delay. But it just, the whole COVID thing strikes me as kind of weird because obviously I'm not in the industry, but I don't know why people need to be together that much for coding. I mean, couldn't people just work from home more? I don't know.
So,
it's odd.
To give a little insight on that, there's something to be said about, okay, QA finds a bug, reports it over Slack or some sort of communication, and then an engineer works on it. That's the way we're working right now. But these bugs, especially at this age, when you come or at this state when there's so many things going on, having a QA tester sit right next to an engineer without having to recompile a build and just keep on testing and add a new breakpoint, testing, add new logging, that speeds up bug fixing and getting things resolved quicker. Being separated like we are now, there is very much a stopgap from I'll report something to you and I can get a fix back. It's starting to add up.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Okay.
It's a shame.
Right, so let's move on to the next story. So, for example, Sony confirms the next-gen VR headset is in the works, presumably for PS5. The news doesn't come way of a PlayStation mouthpiece, but a new job listing shared by Sony that confirms the company is working on next-generation VR head-mounted display. The listing doesn't outright mention PS5 or PlayStation, but many PlayStation fans assume this is in reference to the reported PlayStation VR 2. So basically what I want to talk about is, we know that the second generation VR is going to be coming. So, I mean, what do you expect from the second generation VR? I mean, for me personally, I want to see a wireless VR headset because the first generation VR, I loved using it, but then it got so much of a pain to have to plug in all the time. So to set up, and you had all those cables running around. So it almost got to a point where it got put into a box for like 6 months and not even played. I mean, because I just didn't want to pull it out and have to, spend 30 minutes to an hour plugging in cables. So I'm hoping that it's wireless. I don't know. What do you guys think?
That'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The V2 of this should be wireless. I have the PlayStation VR, and yeah, that thing you get tangled up in a quick second there. I also don't know what you would expand on. Maybe less motion sickness features. I don't know how much more you can extend it that you can say it's next generation, but we'll have to see.
Well, there'll have to be a massive bump in resolution because it's still, even at launch, it's way behind everything else that came out. So they're going to be pushing for having max res and also be pushing for ultra, ultra, ultra high frame rate, like just to get the smoothing down, which is pretty much the number one cause of what's causing motion sickness in most players. The fact that it's not the smoothest scrolling you get. So that's what they're going to be going for, I reckon. It'll be wireless, super crazy high resolution, and of course, smooth as butter.
What about the camera? I mean, they're supposed to be upgrading the camera too. I mean, I wonder if that's gonna, the motion camera or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep better head tracking because the PSVR as it stands now does lose camera position makes a big difference when you're playing, and actually for just different games it can make a difference as well, which is quite annoying. But yeah, some people swear by having a very high up camera pointing slightly downwards. Some people swear the opposite of that. Some people swear by having a dead-on head camera. So yeah, it's tricky. A camera that will, with greater visual fidelity would be really useful for that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I assume that the motion controllers will probably be compatible as well again, and it'll be what's that, Dan? I'm sorry.
Move 2. Get upgraded controllers. Hopefully, have an analog stick on the controllers this time because that's a really weird omission on the current Magic Space Maracas. We need to upgrade those.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that the DualSense controller will have something to do with this as well.
Ooh, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, all those crazy haptics and stuff that got built into the controller, yeah, that's going to feed back into PSVR quite nicely.
Yeah. So what I also want to bring up is the question of what should we expect from, for example, games? I mean, are there any first generation VR games that you'd like to see have a sequel? For example, I would like to see maybe Batman Arkham VR 2, for example, or maybe a sequel to Farpoint, something like that. Well, were there any games that stood out to you guys that you'd like to see them make a sequel for the second generation VR headset?
Resident Evil 7.
That was so good in
Resident
VR.
Evil 8 in VR. Yeah, exactly. It was good, wasn't it? So put 8
it was
in VR
really amazing.
Yeah. I don't know, no, do 2 because 2 was amazing. Redo 2 in VR. That'd be pretty sweet. I'd be up for that.
I'd even be up for the Star Trek VR.
Oh my god, that was the thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they to do a second generation version of that. Make it like kind of like Star Trek Picard or something like that. So.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know, but that would be pretty cool though in the second generation VR headset, maybe, especially if it's wireless. Yeah. But, Jedi, what about you? Do you have any games that you'd like to see have a sequel in VR?
So, looking at them, definitely, I would love to see another Batman Arkham one, but it needs to be expanded on. That was one of the first, I think, VR titles for the PlayStation, and it was lacking a little parts of the Batman. I honestly want to see them I want to see them try new things with VR and continue to find what is a great game for VR. We have so few VR games that are just really great. I want to keep trying to find what the formula is. We're still trying to hone it in. You have something great like Half-Life Alyx that came out. But you know what? It's still just there. There needs to be more cooking in the kitchen going on. I'd rather see new ideas instead of trying to do something that was done in the first gen that really wasn't the most successful.
Yeah. We'll see. It's exciting times in that area, and probably I would imagine maybe we get some kind of reveal maybe 1 or 2 years into the PS5. Maybe that's my thinking. Probably we'll get something then.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be any time within the first year of launch. That's just my opinion. I think it's in the early stages, if that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay, let's get on to, speaking of VR, Oculus will soon require all of its virtual reality headset users to sign up with a Facebook account. The Facebook-owned
Shocking
company
news.
says Facebook-owned company says it will start removing support for separate Oculus accounts in October, although users can maintain an existing account until January 1st, 2023. All users can maintain a distinct VR profile with a separate friends list. So Facebook taking control. I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
So my thoughts on this, on a tech standpoint, sure, it makes sense to rope in all of these users into the Facebook ecosystem, give them access to all of Facebook's APIs so that they can do things like reaching out to friends, being more social. That said, it's limiting users and taking away something they already had, something the players already had. So we already saw, kind of with the original launch of the Xbox One, where we took away options and players didn't like it, and things got changed. I don't know if Facebook will change because they know they own Oculus. This could really hurt Oculus in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it could definitely hurt them.
Especially with how much negativity there is with just the word Facebook right now.
Exactly.
Now you're a VR player that has been playing for however long you've had an Oculus. Now you have to sign in with Facebook, and it's just like, do I want to do that? Do I want to get my information synced up? It's a big question mark. It's a risk.
Right. It's like, tying your hands behind your back. You have to have a Facebook account. And it's like, but what if I don't want a Facebook account? Oh, well, so Dan, anything on this?
Well, we knew that this is not a surprise to anyone. Famously, when Facebook bought Oculus, and that was the big news, all the memes instantly started appearing about how you're gonna have like ads in your games and friend requests and all these horrible little things. I mean, that's all that's gonna happen now. You're gonna be playing and you're gonna get little pop-up ads, or like so and so's online. They're gonna make Oculus into literally Facebook. It's gonna be probably quite hideous. I don't think it's for any other reason than to mine your data again. So
that's absolutely
you do,
it.
When you're playing, who you're playing with, what you're playing, all of that straight back to China or the highest bidder. It's hideous and insidious. I don't know why anyone would have an Oculus. Like, don't bother. Yeah, run like hell.
Yeah. I wonder if Tencent is gonna, pick up on this.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. So next story. We had not a Nintendo Direct, but it was called an Indie World Showcase for Nintendo, and they had a bunch of games that they showed at this showcase. So I want to go through the list of the games. And see what you guys think. Jedi, I don't know, man. It's like a lot of people in the community seem to be more like PC, Xbox, PlayStation centric. I don't know. How many people do you think actually play Nintendo games? I mean, or actually stream Nintendo games on the community?
There definitely is a group that does Nintendo games. Nintendo is still very popular out there. That said, it's usually the core Nintendo games that get played, like the big ones, Zelda, Mario, Paper Mario that just came out. The indie
Animal
stuff,
Crossings,
yeah, exactly. The indie stuff, not so much, but those still get played outside of Twitch, regardless, because those are fun. That's what the Switch is right now. It very much is Nintendo first party and really fun games that you can go ahead and download and have fun with.
Yeah. And Dan, I know you're into the Switch. I mean, how often have you been playing your Switch? I mean, within the last few months.
Well, I recently had a bit of an Animal Crossing problem, but I'm now clean. I've been clean for 7 days. I haven't played Animal Crossing in 7 days, so the most of the shakes have gone now. Yeah, thanks. It's been hard. Well, isn't Nintendo? because Nintendo's Nintendo and they don't understand how the real world works, don't they make life really hard for streamers? Don't they say you've got to give us 50% of whatever revenue you make? You can only use certain things. You can't say anything bad. I remember that being a big furor a few years ago. And a lot of streamers were put off by that. And a lot of people, I know, like, I remember famously, like, Angry Joe and others were like, well, F Nintendo, basically. If you're going to make my life hard, I'm not going to give you the free publicity. So, I don't know, it just seems... Is that still a thing?
Jedi, do you have anything to add to that?
I vaguely remember this. I don't know if that's with streaming directly or if that was with like YouTube videos recording, but I do remember that. I remember Nintendo coming in and saying that. But recently I haven't heard that. I haven't seen that, but I definitely want to read up on that because that sounds like Nintendo in scary times, and I don't want Nintendo banging on my door, yelling at me.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
Okay.
Well,
anyway, so here's the list of the games. I will try to read them off as quickly as possible. So Hades, Supergiant Games, Greek mythology inspired roguelike dungeon crawler Hades, in which the immortal prince of the underworld attempts to escape from hell, coming to Switch this autumn. So Hades sounds like a cool one. Next up, Hypnospace Outlaw. Hypnospace Outlaw, the wonderfully strange internet sleuthing experience from developer Tindershoot, is coming to Switch, as well as PS4 and Xbox One. So it's not an exclusive. So on the 27th of August, so pretty soon, actually. So it's delirious lo-fi journey, which unfolds entirely in a fictionless online world inspired by the World Wide Web of the 1990s. Was certainly memorable on PC. So it's coming to Switch and PS4, Xbox One. So it seems pretty cool. Spiritfarer.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out actually now on Switch, as well as other platforms like PS4, Xbox One, PC. So it's well worth investigating. For example, there are a lot of good things to say about the experience, in that it's kind of a tearjerker in a sense. So that's coming out soon. So also Manifold Garden, for example, dazzling gravity flipping puzzler from developer William Scheer, masks surprise Switch and PS4 Xbox One debut. So this is one that I've been looking forward to play. So it looks really cool. So the puzzles are mesmerizing and ingenious, it looks like. So
it is. It's a very unique graphical style as well. It does look interesting, this one, I've got to say. From that entire showcase, it's probably the one I'm actually interested in playing. So, yeah.
Jedi, how about you? Have you seen Manifold Garden?
Yeah, that one looks amazing. I think that's the one that I picked up also that I really wanted to grab from the showcase. Really excited. Fun.
Cool. Next up is Garden Story. Garden Story is a wholesome action adventure that casts players as a newly appointed guardian and also grape who must rebuild a community. That's done both literally by gathering building resources and by forming bonds to bring the locals together. So that's coming to Switch next year. Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. So Dan, you were playing some of Subnautica, right?
Didn't like it. I didn't like it. Oh, it's all right. It's pretty good. I know it's got a huge fan base and some people really love it. I had a lot of trouble getting into it. I found the difficulty curve was a bit much. There's a fine line between being too hand-holdy and not hand-holdy enough, and this was way on the not enough. And there are whole sections where you're just like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? And it's some pretty big bugs. But I was playing the PS4 version, so maybe it's not the best version to play. But the concept's actually really clever, and the narrative's actually pretty good too. I might go back to it one day when I'm in the mood.
Yeah, I played like the first hour or two of it where you're in that, where you're in the capsule in the water and just, at the beginning of the game. And I'd like to get back to it at some point. Jedi, have you played Subnautica?
Yeah, that's one of the games that I play with the wife. She loves those types of games. That said, I fully agree with the not hand-holding enough. I got to a point where I really had no idea what to do, and I was just wandering around, and that's not fun to me. So that was the end of me playing it for me.
Cool. Okay, well, anyway, Unknown Worlds is bringing its brilliant underwater horror adventure, which combines survival mechanics with story and a wonderfully realized alien ocean world to Switch next year. And that's not all. Subnautica's Arctic-themed sequel, Below Zero, will also be making the jump to Nintendo's platform in 2021. I really wonder how that's going to run on Nintendo Switch.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's quite intense. I mean, I've not been the PS4 does kind of struggle playing that game. So on the Switch, it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to water it down and compress it all into those limitations. Yeah.
Takeshi and Hiroshi. Takeshi and Hiroshi by Oink Games cast players as Takeshi, a young developer who is trying to keep his younger brother, you guessed it, Hiroshi, entertained with the latest chapter of his game. It's a sports, super cute stop motion aesthetic combined with a more traditional 2D look as the action moves into Takeshi's video game fantasy adventure. This one is out now, actually, so you can pick that up on the Switch. Raji, an ancient epic. So, Notting Heads Games, Raji, an ancient epic, is a striking acrobatic action adventure in which players must defend the world against the forces of the mighty demon lord. It's heavily inspired by Indian culture, architecture, and mythology, and promises intense action built around combat with divine weapons. So, it's a timed console exclusive on Switch, and it's out now.
That sounds good. I don't know. There aren't enough games like we don't in the West. We don't get enough of that kind of stuff. I'd like to see more.
Wasn't particularly for Switch, but what was it? That indie title that was supposed to be about Egypt, in the Valley of the Gods, I think it was called.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was supposed to come out, but that was delayed. Yeah. So
was it made by people in Egypt?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That'd be more interesting if we had to go with it. I think, that's the point I'm making is that I want to hear more non-Western voices in games. That'd be interesting to see,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know jack about India or any other culture other than Western and Japan. So the chance to see other games and from other perspectives, that's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay, next, Bear and Breakfast. There's something for management game fans in Gummy Cat Studio Bears and Breakfast. This one asks players in the role of Hank the Bear to manage their own bed and breakfast, turning a dilapidated shack into a thriving business. So it comes to, it's exclusive. It's a timed console exclusive on Switch and releases next year. So that seems pretty cute. A Short Hike. So it's a charmingly compact game of exploration-based adventure available right now. So A Short Hike.
Compact makes it sound like it's a really short and possibly unfinished game. That's not a good word to use.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
What do you think, Jedi, on that?
Maybe. I don't
know. Who knows? Yeah, but it's available right now, so you can try it out and see if it works or not. But yeah. Evergate. Also available now is Evergate, a 2D puzzle platformer and touching, heartwarming story set in the afterlife. So, fire your soul flame at the crystals dotted around the environment and harness the mysterious powers they hold to aid and pursue your end gate. Okay, so it's coming soon. So Torchlight 3 and Card Shark, a couple of other games that are going to be coming out in the autumn season. So, for example, Form of Action RPG sequel to Torchlight 3, arrives on Switch this autumn. For example, Nerial, the developer behind Swipe to Rule Hit Reigns. And also Card Shark looks gorgeous and features quite the premise, offering up a game of real card tricks and manipulations. So it's coming to Switch and PC in 2021.
Brilliant.
Okay. And then they listed off some other games as well. The Untitled Goose Games getting a co-op mode on the 23rd of September. Haven, out later this year. Going Under on September 24th. The Red Lantern, autumn of 2020. Unrailed on September 23rd. The demo is out now, actually. on the 27th of August, Struggling. 21st of August, Inmost. She Dreams Elsewhere, early 2021. Grindstone in autumn of 2020, and Goner 2, autumn of 2020. So, yeah, a big list of games that they listed off for the showcase here. But for me, I think Manifold Garden is number one on my list to play. So
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, it looks interesting.
yeah. What about you, Jedi? Any of these games, like Manifold Garden or anything else, stand out?
Manifold Garden, Evergate looks amazing. It has kind of Ori and the Blind Forest vibes.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the big ones for me.
Okay. So that is all for the showcase that they had for the indie games. So next up on the news story list, EA Origin and EA Access come under one roof with EA Play. So since the inception of both services, Origin Access has been reserved for PC players, and EA Access has been the service that console gamers used. But Electronic Arts is wanting to bring both services under one roof, EA Play. So there are going to be two tiers of EA Play, both that deliver great value from what they say. So EA Play will come into two tiers: EA Play and Play Pro. The standard version will offer the same benefits of Origin Access Basic and EA Access, while the Pro model is what Origin Access Premier is being rebranded to. EA's game subscription service will cost $4.99 a month, while EA Play Pro will run you $14.99 per month or $99.99 per year, depending on how you choose to pay. So basically, I mean, if you're a Pro user, you're going to be getting a lot of, access to the new EA titles, whereas if you have just the basic service, you're going to get maybe like a demo to the game for like a 10-day window or something like that. Kind of like what you got with Access. So another subscription service, nothing like Game Pass, I think. But what do you guys think of this?
Yeah, makes sense. Keep the unified branding. Yeah, good idea. Again, like you said, another subscription service. I'm not an EA fan, so it doesn't really apply to me. But yeah, sure. I'm sure someone will get their jollies off it.
Jedi, what do you think of this? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. It's great that it's unifying it, kind of making it the same thing across all the main platforms. EA Access, the base one that I at least have for the console, I use it to pick up EA games for free when they come available. I usually don't buy EA games for the most part. That said, I'm sure they see what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass. They're trying to build out theirs because they know they have a huge library. It just kind of goes into them trying to keep their ecosystem as alive as possible.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I was saying, another subscription service. I mean, if you're into the EA games, this might be something for you. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything compared to Game Pass. That's for sure. So,
No.
Okay, it's time for the topic of the show. So this week, of course, we want to talk about what's been going on in the news the past week. Of course, Epic Games and Fortnite on iOS and Android devices, as well as now Apple is ramping things up by threatening to cut off all of Unreal Engine on Mac and iOS devices. So basically, Apple goes for the jugular, kind of like, how Steve Jobs back in the day, when it came to his fight with Google, he was saying he would go to thermonuclear war. So it's kind of kind of a similar thing here. Apple seems to be wanting to go to thermonuclear war with Epic Games and the Unreal Engine. So I don't know. What are you guys' take, man? I think just from my perspective, I think, Epic Games, they, of course, violated Apple's terms of service. Apple 30%, cut. That's pretty drastic. But then again, I think when it comes to the legal fight, Epic might get an injunction when it comes to Apple trying to get rid of all of Unreal Engine. But I don't know, because of the terms of service. I think that Apple could win on that side of the case. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, yeah, Apple could probably win. It is their platform, and let's be clear on this one. Google does the same exact thing. They take the same 30% off, which was why Google delisted Fortnite as well from the Google Play Store. I think everybody knows this is a problem. This is a big elephant in the room with Apple taking 30%. All the developers know it. All the gamers know it. All the people that use mobile. You talk to anybody on Twitch, don't buy a subscription. Don't buy bits. Don't buy anything on mobile. Do it on the website because it's cheaper and you get more out of it just because of the inflation and how it works. The only way that Apple is going to really change anything is if any other developer, studio, any other company that has in-app purchases comes into Epic's aid and says, "Yeah, you know what? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull our stuff. We're going to side with Epic on this." Epic isn't really, I think, putting anything on the line. I mean, the Unreal thing, I don't think is going to fly. That's just, I think, insane on Apple's part. They make enough revenue on just PC alone that they don't really need the mobile. It's them just making the statement. So, sure, they can go ahead and do it. They can go toe to toe. I just don't know if Apple is going to change.
Yeah. Dan, what do you think? Yeah.
Okay. As for the legal thing, who's got the most money?
Apple, of course.
I feel
there
Apple.
You go.
Yeah.
So that's the court case decided. So when it goes to court, Apple's going to absolutely destroy Epic just because they can afford to. So there's that. The whole idea of the walled garden thing is really naughty. I think it was a very silly thing by Google, though. I mean, Google should have instantly kind of tried to build bridges with Epic, I'd have thought, just to set them. Because rather than lump in with Apple as the bad guys in this story, they could have gone, yeah, maybe we should rethink our approach to thing. Maybe we could work together with Epic, and they could have built some goodwill between them, Epic, and Epic's potential audience. So the fact that they instantly, without even thinking, just went, yeah, no, we're yanking you off the store as well, strikes me as weird. And 30%, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, funny we said, because I was reading an article this morning, and there was an article about how Apple is kind of making in-app purchase mandatory. Like there are certain programs that you buy once or are free, and Apple's kind of gone, yeah, you're not making any revenue. You've got to put some sort of recurring spending in your program, or we're going to boot you off as well. So it's kind of like it seems quite evil. Like mandatory in-app purchases just so Apple can make 30%, and things that don't even need it are being kind of like strong-armed into having these things in, so Apple can take 30% of whatever you might be selling.
Very predatory.
It is. But the whole throwing their toys at the pram and like just basically trying to destroy Epic. We're not going to give you the source tools. We're not going to allow Epic your engines to be optimized for the Mac OSs and all this stuff. Is like, wow, it's really childish. But I mean, Apple's already in a bit of trouble anyway for like various antitrust things going on in the States anyway. So I don't know, it might be interesting. It might have a chance. But fundamentally, I mean, yeah, like I agree. They make all their money on PC and consoles anyway. I don't know why anyone would choose to play Fortnite on a mobile anyway. But obviously, there's a revenue stream there because they were getting it through their website and stuff. I don't know. Seems shady.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I'll agree with Apple on here is one of the things that Epic tried floating was to create their own app store for iOS. I agree that on Apple, you should be making purchases through one thing. Apple has been pretty good about locking down their users, their datas, so that people don't get into it. I think that they have been good on that end. I think opening up more stores does open up risk. That said, 30%. Come on, I mean that's 30%, and you think of mobile. Most mobile purchases are $1 to $5. Like 30% on every dollar. It's just way too much for what it should be.
I want to read from one of our listeners. Actually, all of the listeners can, write into us and ask questions to us on all of the platforms where the podcast is available. Jedi, I think you know this person. He's from the community of gamers. Shoop. I think you know Shoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he writes in and he says, as someone working in the game industry, it just looks like a mega corporation versus another one. Epic is trying to make it look like they're doing it for the players. But as for all battles between two mega corporations, it's only about money. And as I said, I side with Google and Apple on this one. Even if I agree that a 30% cut is gigantic, the industry as a whole knows about it and takes it into account. Google and Apple offer their service as a distributor to anyone and everyone as long as they fit their policies, and I think it's normal to get a cut on what people sell using their service. Having a product, for example, a popular one on top of that, setting up a system to sell things using your service without you having any control is not okay. And if Epic sets an example on this, who knows what other companies will do using this system. And then he says, think about an app selling illegal things on the App Store that Apple can't regulate. What Epic did was the same as a toy company, setting up stalls in every supermarket in the world without asking for permission from them, grab their products on the shelves, for example, products the supermarket pays to transport and distribute all around the world, and sell them directly to the supermarket customers without paying anything to the firms. And he says, I don't know if this makes sense. English is not my mother tongue. Actually, Shoop is from France, but he's doing his best to get his point across here in English. But anyway, so he says, on top of that, Epic is trying to play the victim, saying, look at the poor small developers that won't be able to use Unreal to make games for Apple, while taking a cut on games made with Unreal Engine. They're also trying to send hordes of angry gamers as an enemy to hate on Apple. And so at the end, he says, so long story short, Epic doesn't like Apple getting their money. Apple doesn't like Epic trying to F them over. So that's from one of the listeners, and he's writing in, and he is basically on the side of Apple and Google in this fight, in this
Burn
situation.
him alive.
So.
But only kidding. Only kidding.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good point. Well made. The analogies were a bit wobbly, but yeah, I see where it's coming from.
Yeah, well, he's saying English. Sorry, English isn't my mother tongue.
No, I get it. No. There's nothing wrong with his prose itself, but the actual method, the actual analogy itself, the supermarket one is good. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I must disagree though. But I'm a massive lefty, so I'm anti-corporation anyway. Even Epic is, pretty insidious and evil in itself. But I don't know. Yeah, I can't get past the whole inherent greed of 30% for basically holding web space for an app. I mean, they're going about their security, but I don't know how much really that comes into it. I don't know. Yeah, let's not pretend that Epic's the good guys really, because they're just a shady.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's shocking. But the idea, it does. What sucks about this mainly is when Apple threw their toys out the pram and went, screw all of Unreal. Like people trying, Epic rather. The devs who are smaller devs trying to make their game using Unreal or the like, are kind of be like, well, you are SOL because we're not going to host it because it was made using that software. So yeah, that's the worst part of this all. The people who might be making games looking to put on the Apple App Store. Is that still number one? Is that the number one Apple, mobile marketplace? Has the Play Store caught up with it yet? I don't know. But anyway, those guys making their little games for Apple, they're the ones that are going to be hurting the most from this, I reckon, probably.
So Jedi, I have a question for you coming from, a developing perspective here. So let's just hypothetically here. Let's hypothetically say Apple, they went out and they are able to take out Unreal Engine from the iOS stores, from Mac OS, things like that. So what do small developers turn to since they won't be able to use Unreal Engine? What would be the alternative for them?
Oof. I mean, if you're talking about mobile specifically, or anything, it's tough. Unity's out there. The act of taking away Unreal for a developer that is mid development of any game is going to be a huge change. You just need to find a different type of, I guess, IDE that you can go to. But I can't even imagine being in the shoes of someone saying, "Okay, we're getting ready to wrap this up in the next few months," and oh crap, we no longer have Unreal. Um, that's just wild to me. Now there are ways you can still download Unreal. It won't be optimized. You can still get it and sideload it onto your Macs. You can do that with any program for the most part on the laptops. You download them directly from the website. But getting it directly from the App Store adds a bit of security behind it and optimization, as we say. It'd be rough to continue without Unreal, though.
Does anyone, as an industry insider, does anyone actually use the Macs for the actual anything other than art assets in games? So is any actual coding and actual construction actually done on a Mac in the industry?
So yeah, I've been at probably 4 to 5 different studios the past 5, 6, 7 years, and yes, we've used Macs at half of them. Unity is big on the Mac. Unity works and runs well. I'm trying to think what else we used. There's a couple other engines that we use. So yes, there definitely is development done on Macs.
Huh. Interesting.
And just one final thought or final point here. I made a poll on Twitter, actually, asking people on Twitter, for example, who will win the antitrust lawsuit. And 71% are in favor of Epic and that they should win the antitrust lawsuit. 29% think Apple will win it.
Apple would 100% win it.
Yeah.
Apple
well, I think this is just personal sentiments for most of these people on Twitter. Yeah. So
if that's what you want to happen, then that's what you want to happen. But in the real world, it's a done deal.
Yeah, I think if this runs the course of going all the way through the trial, everything, Apple will definitely win it. The hope, of course, is, people can get in a room and just talk to each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Just follow the terms of service. And then everything goes back to the way it was. I don't know. So, yeah. Okay, so that was the topic of the week. So now it is time, Dan, for your retro spotlight of this week. So, for example, each and every episode, Dan discusses something from the world of retro gaming. So his retro topic of the week. So what do you have for us this week, Dan?
Retro topic of the week.
Yay.
That's my jingle. I'm gonna every time now. I assume that both of you two lovely chaps have Netflix.
Yes, I have Netflix.
Yeah,
yes.
So obviously, and because you're hardcore gamers, you're going to know that on Wednesday, a little series called High Score came out.
Yay, High Score.
Yes.
Yeah, been watching that.
I binged it all in one night because I like that sort of thing. I'm massively interested. That's my topic. Just talking about that, really. So yeah, High Score is a 6-part series, 6 45-ish minute episodes, spanning the golden era. That when games were great, not like now. So like, it's like from 7. Well, it starts way before that, but it's like
I knew you were going to say that, Dan. I knew it, man.
True. It's demonstrably true. So it goes from like 70s.
As you listeners can find out now, and you probably know by now, actually, Dan is more of a retro gamer. He's not into the new AAA titles so much.
Hate it. It's a ghost of what it used to be gaming is now. It's rubbish. Anyway, and if you're born post 2000, I'm sorry, you missed the best stuff. Anyway, so basically, so it goes from like 77. Essentially, it goes from 77 Atari Night Jazz up until doesn't even really get to PlayStation. I don't think. Yeah, it kind of peters out the Mega Drive and Nintendo era. And it's really fun. It's not the most detailed thing. There are enormous gaps missing. Like Ralph Baer doesn't even get a mention. They just go
You
straight to
serious?
yeah, no, they don't even mention him. They just go straight to Nolan Bushnell being the grandfather of video games. So
Oh,
they miss out all
Bushnell.
the Magnavox Odyssey stuff. There are huge bits missing. They talk about the video game crash, which is actually it's the North American video game crash because the rest of the world had no idea it even happened. The rest of the world were playing on their other toys. But
Yeah, the American video game crash in 1983. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And they focus on
Yeah.
that, but then actually mentioned that the rest of the world didn't even register. It didn't happen for us. The rest of the world were happy playing on other things, so that's quite interesting. A lot of Japan stuff. It's very America centric, obviously, because that's where the people are from. It's where they made it, and that's not a complaint. It was very interesting to hear that. Lots of Japan stuff back and forth. They flip between events in America and Japan and how they play off each other. A bit about Sega in the 90s was good. They didn't go into enough detail on that. They didn't go up into the Kolinsky Sega US versus Sega Japan. They should have focused more on there was a lot of animosity there, which they kind of brushed over. I mean, that could have had a whole episode on itself. But yeah, no, I thought it was cracking. It's getting a lot of complaints from blowhards on the internet who think they know everything because that's what they do on the internet. But no, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, if you got a spare 3.5 hours, sit down and watch the whole thing. It's cracking. Yeah, good, lots of fun.
Yeah, I like that part in the first episode when the MIT guys, the students
Yeah.
at MIT, they started their own arcades at the university, and
Yeah.
and then they started figuring out we're losing money because people are learning how to play these games.
That was really interesting.
And so they created the first upgrade kits.
Yeah, unofficial upgrade kits. Like some random guys were just started making third party.
Yeah.
Just started hacking arcade machines and selling upgrades. It's amazing. Yeah, really was good. Yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone. If you're a blowhard who knows it all, don't bother. Just sit there and stick to your flame wars on forums. But no, it was good. I thought it was great.
Jedi, have you watched any of High Score yet?
So I haven't. The rule of the house is anytime we watch anything on Netflix, the wife and I have to watch it together. I am excited to watch it. We're probably going to watch it this weekend, binge it all.
Good.
I am a little hesitant because the last time we listened or watched anything game related, it was Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. And my wife hates my industry now, and she hates me even more because of the industry. So really excited to hear it. And just hearing what Dan was saying, I really definitely want to get into that and watch it.
I mean,
cool.
I mean, did you say your wife?
Yes.
Yes, I guess your wife. How is she feeling about the whole ongoing Ubisoft thing right now?
Honestly, she's detached from all of that as much as possible. That said, she definitely feels there shouldn't be any crazy harassment anywhere.
Yeah.
She worked in the industry as a customer support for about a hot minute.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. So that was the retro topic of the week. Yeah, High Score. So that's on Netflix, and it's what is it, Dan? It's 6 parts, right? 6 parts, and it's about 45 minutes each.
I really hope they extend it to the PlayStation era, and then just stop. Yeah. Stop at around 2004, because after that, no one cares. So that'd be good. The silver age of gaming. That'd be amazing.
But then how are you going to hook the kids?
That's a good point. I don't know. I don't care. It's for me. I want it for me. I don't care about the kids. On a related subject, actually, there was a DVD, a documentary made a few years ago called Bedrooms to Billions. I'm sure you've heard of it, about how that was more UK-centric, actually, about how the rise of the bedroom coder. People who one man made a game in his bedroom, sold it, and went on to be millionaires, and then founded whole game companies. So originally it was about the 8-bit micros in the UK and Europe and how it extended across the world. Then they had the Amiga years. So it's all about the Amiga and how that went global and the rise and fall of Commodore Amiga. And now they've got one called the PlayStation Revolution. I think it comes out beginning of September. So if you're interested in how Sega came to be, how Sony came to be the powerhouse it is now, that's the one to watch. I'm very excited about that. I thoroughly loved Bedrooms to Billions. If anyone hasn't seen it, I urge you to go and download it off the website bedroomtobillions.co.uk.org, whatever. But yeah, if you're interested in your history, it's very long though. Good lord, it's like I think it's pushing 3 hours. It needs some editing, but they're all great documentaries. So Bedroom to Billions, the Amiga years, and the PlayStation Revolution, which comes out in a couple of weeks, I think. So yeah, check those out if you're interested.
Cool. All right. So thanks for that, Dan. So now we go on to the new and upcoming video game releases from Metacritic for the week of August 24th through 30th.
I'll be quiet now.
There are 14 games on the list.
Cool.
14. So yeah, we're getting to that point of the year where just stuff is going to be just dumped on us. Yeah.
Yay.
So yeah. So first up on the list is Kondagawa Jet Girls for PlayStation 4, out on August 25th. There's more to racing than increase your speed. A story of girls devoting their youth to jet races with character designs and Hanaharu Naruko. The girls make friends and form bonds through their shared love of jet racing in the ensemble coming-of-age story. So, racing arcade related.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is it like F-Zero?
Maybe. Okay. If you've ever played that.
All right.
So it comes out on August 25th for PS4 and for PC. Madden 21, so on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on the 25th. So the annual American football simulator is coming back for another edition. So it's just, I don't understand why people buy this every year. Whoever does. I don't understand why you just can't update your rosters to, to the next season's, roster.
The real reason for it is what happens is, one, you get the updated graphics, some new game modes, maybe some new gameplay, but ultimately they do kill the servers after about a year and a half or so, or 2 years. So yeah, if you want to keep doing online play and getting those online rosters, these sports games know how to just cut you off, make sure you go to the next level up.
Yeah. But from between Madden 21 and say Madden 20, graphical fidelity, I don't think I'm going to see any difference.
It's the same game.
It really is. And sometimes they improve the mechanics possibly, but no, come on.
No Straight Roads is coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch on August 25th. So No Straight Roads. Okay. Embark on a music-based action adventure as indie rock band members Mayday and Zook and lead a musical revolution against EDM empire No Straight Roads. After being unfairly rejected in their audition to join No Straight Roads, Mayday and Zook uncover the evil intentions behind the NSR empire. So this is an action adventure rhythm open world music game. Amazing. And it is out on the 25th. So I guess if you're into music games, rhythm games. Jedi, here's one up your alley, man. Vader Immortal, Star Wars VR series.
Finally.
For PS4, yes. Coming out on the 25th. Step into a galaxy far, far away and experience the first Star Wars story designed exclusively for virtual reality. Descend into Darth Vader's mysterious fortress alongside new allies and encounter fearsome enemies, including the Sith Lord himself. So, yes, coming on the 25th. Yeah. Awesome. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered is the next game on the list, and it comes out on August 27th for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and on iOS. That's quite interesting.
Hey.
Yeah, for iOS. Hey. So the return of a masterpiece, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is back, and more beautiful than ever on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, 15 years after the classic original. So, yes, role-playing action RPG coming out on the 27th.
That was a GameCube game, and it upset a lot of people. I think it's semi-mandatory co-op play. If I remember back in the day. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting.
Moon is coming out for the Nintendo Switch on August 27th. Moon is the title. Is full of so many subtitles in the characters, their strange personalities and idiosyncratic ways of communicating. We wanted to do even more testing than usual to make sure all of that came through clearly, felt special and guided, guiding you properly through its world. So another role-playing game from Onion Games called, Moon Remix RPG Adventure. So on the 27th, that's coming out. Okay. Here's one for you, Dan. Another simulator game, Surgeon Simulator 2.
That's funny. You should mention that. I was playing Surgeon Simulator the other day with my bird, and sorry for people who aren't British. Bird means girlfriend, not natural bird. It's still unplayable. Is the sequel going to be equally unplayable? Because God damn, that game it's brilliant, but it's just ridiculous. It's lots of fun.
Comes out on August 27th, and from 4-player co-op to the all-new Bosa Labs creation tool, get ready to explore an entire medical facility of wonder in this fully fleshed-out sequel. That's funny. Fleshed-out sequel.
Good. I got that.
So, Surgeon Simulator 2. Tell Me Why for PC and Xbox One. That's actually going to be a day one Game Pass title. Comes out on the 27th. And this game is going to be very similar to what was that other game that was kind of Telltale-like with the two high school girls? I forget.
Life is Strange.
Yeah, Life is Strange. That's right. Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2. It's going to be quite similar to that, I think, in a way. So twins Allison and Tyler Ronan return to their small Alaskan town to sell their childhood home. As they sit through memories, ghostly images from their childhood, cast doubt on what they remember about their mother's final days. So, Don't Nod Entertainment. I'm really looking forward to playing this game. Hey, Jedi, I might actually stream this game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, looks pretty cool. So that is coming out on the 27th. And next up, Tom Clancy's Elite Squad for iOS. Another iOS title here. So the world is facing a new unknown threat, and playing by the rules won't win this war. As commander of an unprecedented elite soldier squad, you have been granted carte blanche to recruit the best and most iconic agents from the Tom Clancy's video games universe. So strategy, turn-based, coming out on the 27th for iOS. That definitely still won't get me to playing on iOS.
Boo!
Yeah. Show me something else. Yeah, I mean, I could play a game like that on PS4, Xbox One, or on PC. Yeah,
it's true. Or 3DS, because wasn't there a similar game at the launch of the 3DS? I think Advanced Warfighter was like a turn-based strategy game. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Yeah.
Captain Tsubasa, Rise of New Champions comes out on August 28th for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
Cool.
Captain Tsubasa, Rise of New Champions is an arcade football game bringing a refreshing look to the football genre with the exhilarating action and over-the-top shots that made the license famous. So, of course, in the United States, it would be soccer, but everywhere else in the world, it is football. So, coming out on the 28th.
Cool.
So, it's another one.
Yeah.
So, Nexomon Extinction coming out on August 28th for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch. So, Nexomon Extinction is a return to classic monster catching games, complete with a brand new story, eccentric characters, and over 300 unique Nexomon to trap and tame. The world is on the brink of extinction as mighty tyrant Nexomon fight for dominion over humans and monsters. So another role player, RPG.
Cool.
Coming out on the 28th, PC, Switch, and Xbox. So yeah, man, there's a ton of stuff coming out for the Switch.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. Project Cars 3 on August 28th, another racing title for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So Project Cars 3 is the third installment in the bestseller racing franchise. It brings all the intense thrills, emotions, and fun from the vibrant world of motor racing to vivid life as players undertake a whole new exciting career journey that sees him rise from weekend warrior to racing hero. So racing simulation automobile type of game on the 25th. So right around the corner.
Cool.
Wasteland 3. So that's another game I'm looking forward to. Wasteland 3 coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And Wasteland 3 is going to be, I think, a Game Pass Day 1 title. So I'm looking forward to that. So Wasteland 3 is a party... Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, please, after you.
Wasteland 3 is a party-based role-playing game with a renewed focus on our trademark complex story. Reactivity and strategic combat. So Western-style role-playing game. Yeah, coming out on the 28th. Go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, hasn't that had a monstrous development cycle? That's taken a long time to come out. I remember reading about that a long time ago. Because originally, didn't Wasteland 1 and probably 2 come out like decades ago? And then it just doesn't matter. But yeah. Oh, cool. That's good. I'm glad it's coming out there. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And finally, Windbound on August 28th for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So Windbound.
Oh, good Lord. That's
embark on a personal journey and discover the history of the idyllic, forbidden islands, each holding the key to a mystery and unexpected revelations. Head toward the horizon, advancing across the islands, each with their own wildlife, landscapes, and challenges to face. So action, adventure, and survival.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it comes out on the 28th.
That's an unfortunate name, though. Anyway, yeah, 28th. Good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look into that.
Yep, so 14 games on the list. Dan, what's your pick for this week?
If I had to play any of those, it'd probably be Wasteland or maybe Surgeon Simulator 2.
Okay. Jedi, how about you?
Vader. Give me Vader. Give me the VR. Let me recreate that last scene in Rogue One. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for me, either Vader Immortal or Tell Me Why, because I'm really interested in the story-based game. So, yeah, and that's something that I might live stream, actually, that seems really interesting. So I think chapters 1, 2, and 3 are already available for pre-download on Xbox One. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, but yeah, Vader Immortal sounds cool. So we'll see what the graphical quality is on that. Yeah. So, okay. So one last thing I want to talk about is last week, Dan.
Hello.
We were talking about the Xbox Series X and its launch.
Yeah.
And basically, I also made another Twitter poll discussing, for example, on Xbox Series X launch, will those of you who are current Xbox owners buy it because you love the tech, pass, wait for Halo, switch to PS5 platform, or just play on PC? So the final results of that is kind of interesting. Buy it because they love the new tech. 50% said they would buy it because they love the new tech. 25% said they're going to switch to the PS5 platform.
Oh, good Lord. That's extreme. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And then a tie for 13% was pass, wait for Halo, or just play on PC. So,
I mean, yeah, if you're forced to play on a PC, I guess that's the only choice you have, really. But okay, wow, I'm surprised. I'm more surprised with the first one because what good is a tech if there's nothing to play on it?
Well, there's no first party to play on it. You can still play other things. I mean, the only thing to buy a PlayStation 5 for right now is Miles Morales and then the third-party games. This year is kind of a wash for buying it.
It really is.
The only reason you're going to buy it is because you want the tech. Me, I am a hardware nerd, so I'm going to buy both hardware systems regardless. That said, you need games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't see any reason to buy either, really, as it stands right now. Why bother? I mean, yeah, I'd wait until the inevitable Halo pack-in comes out. And what is it? Is it Q1 next year?
Well, now there's rumor that it might not come out for at least a full year since.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it could
Then
be next
delay the
fall.
Xbox. Just then release the Xbox next year and make even more money. Let Sony have this Christmas. Go sod it. We'll wait a year. We'll release the Xbox next year. They'll make a killing. They'd slay it. Just wait a year.
Well, I don't think they're trying to make a killing with it this year. I think honestly, Microsoft, in my opinion, they know they're going to trickle their system out. They don't even have any Xbox Series X exclusives until what? Not even next year, because everything's going to be kind of cross compatible with the Xbox One. So
Yeah, like 2022. Yeah, so
they,
2021. Yeah.
they're giving it the long burn for players to get it when they want before they make that switch. It's their plan because they have so much coming in from Game Pass. The hardware part of it, they know they can take time for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like with Game Pass, I mean, there's a lot of games that came out earlier this year. I mean, like Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I mean, and games like, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2, which is going to be leaving Game Pass soon, but still, I mean, you could pick it up and play it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there, so we'll see. Okay,
Yeah,
so anyway, before we, go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
Do you remember though? Like, do you remember when the console was defined by the launch titles? Do you remember that? Like, it seems really weird.
That was what, like original Xbox time?
Yeah.
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 Since then, I can't think of a launch title that has been definitive for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I don't.
Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. I was talking over. It really was just that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird. It just, yeah, I don't know. Because everyone remembers, like, you wanted to buy a SNES for Mario World and F-Zero. You wanted to buy an N64 for Mario 64, Pilot Wings, Mario Kart. That's all Nintendo stuff. But even, like, Sony, you wanted to play, well, it wasn't a launch title, but, I mean, but like Wipeout. I mean, you saw that game and you're like, bloody hell, I want to buy the system to play that. But, like, PS5 and Xbox One S Series X1 just turning up empty-handed to this party. And it's like, well, how the frig are you going to sell a console? And then the whole argument, like, well, I've got all the games right now. Well, I don't care. I've already got the games that are now. I can already play those games on a system I already have. I don't want to spend another $500 to play games I've already got now that might be slightly better resolution. It just seems so bizarre to be releasing consoles with nothing to play on them. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Seems really, really weird times we're living in. It's releasing consoles for the sake of releasing consoles, just for the sake of killing. And don't get me started on the fact that we haven't even friggin' pushed the PS4 and the Xbox One. We haven't even started on them. It's like, oh, kill them off now. Let's get new systems out. Like, what the frig's wrong with you? You got another 5 possible years of PS4 and Xbox One. I
think, to be fair, the PS4 is coming to what it can do. I know a lot of people that have their PlayStation 4, and it strains to play games. So I think the way games are building, it's good to get the generational jump. But yeah, there needs to be something to sell. There needs to be an awesome game, and I miss those times.
For real. And it's weird that, console lifespans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It's like 3 years from now, we'll be talking about the PS6. Sony have already said this. Sony have already said this is going to have the shortest console lifespan there's ever been. It's
going to be like a PS5 mental. Pro probably in 2023, 2024, maybe. Yeah.
Way before that. Forget about it. Sony has said PlayStation 6. 4 years, we'll be talking about it. When we get ready for the launch in 2025, we'll be like, brilliant, that'll be out. It's mental. Anyway, that's my rant over.
Yeah, well, it trickles. I mean, instead of trickling down, it heads up the ladder because you got mobile. The mobile ecosystem. I mean, every year, whereas every like 6 to 8 months you're getting something new.
I guess, but there's no leap. I mean, they don't have the same leap consoles have. I mean, mind you, the PS4 and PS5 leap. not that amazing. Let's be honest. Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to be an epoch. It's not going to be a ground-shattering move. So we're going up by degrees. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems silly.
Like Jedi said, I mean, they're getting to where they're pushing the limits of the PS4 now.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it'll be another year or two before we really truly see, the power of like a PlayStation 5 title.
I mean,
just
guess,
like when the PS3 to PS4 transition. I mean, so it'll be a while, but then,
those were
as you were saying, I mean, like in 3 or 4 years, it's you're going to have like a PS6, come out possibly.
But the difference between
and it's
PS2,
like we just got into PS5, but
exactly. But the difference between PS2, PS3, PS4 was massive, colossal differences. But the difference between PS4 and PS5 isn't that great. It isn't that big a leap. So yeah, I don't know. But there's still tricks to be worked out. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Just have your games, then worry about the consoles, not the other way around. It just seems really weird.
Okay. All right. Well, before we conclude the episode, I want to let everybody know once again where you can find the podcast. If you would like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. To listen on iOS and Android podcast services, you can download the Podbean app for free and search for the Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Or you can go directly to expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us there. On social media, you can follow me on Twitter at expat_2020, as well as on Instagram at expat_2020. And on my YouTube channel, Expat 2020 Gaming, you can see my latest videos related to new game releases, game trailer impressions, as well as this podcast. And you can also find me on Facebook at Expat 2020. And I have a Discord, the Expat 2020 Arena, where all of you are welcome to discuss anything and everything related to video games. Finally, I'm a live streamer and a Twitch affiliate, and you can catch my live streams on twitch.tv/expat2020, as well as on my website for content creation at expat2020.live. That does it for me for the social media. Dan, what's going on at the Center for Computing History, and where can people find you, man? Yeah.
We had a wonderful donation come in, actually. A guy, one of our supporters, a lovely man named Johnny Blanchard, sent us a bundle of old, quite actually rare consoles. There was an unboxing video that I'm a part of, me and a fellow employee called Katrina. We opened this box live, not live, but we recorded it live, and our reactions to this hardware that was sent to us. It was really beautiful stuff. If you're interested, to have a look on YouTube, our channel, Center for Computer History, I think Retrotech Archive. Unboxing these Japanese consoles. It's really nice. A really lovely donation. We got some cool stuff. I'm not going to tell you what it was, because I want you to go and watch the video. As for my personal stuff, I'm still driving buses around. If you're interested in buses being live streamed, you can come watch me. I very rarely drive a bus around, because other games I end up swearing and getting angry, so I don't stream those anymore. But if you like buses, check me out. I am Press Start to... I'm not. My channel is Press Start to Game. Just type Press Start to Game bus or any variation of those words, and you'll probably stumble across my stream. About 25 pages in, you'll find me there, just bussing. And maybe some Doom if I'm feeling brave. That's me. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Dan, man.
Thank you.
Jedi, where can people find you on social media, man?
People can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, all under CorelianJedi with one L. Just continuing to play more games, Dark Souls, and have fun there. There is a Discord coming out, launching probably the next week or so. But yeah, CorelianJedi, that's where you'll find me.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. And thanks for being our special guest today, man. We really appreciate you coming. And with the new consoles on the horizon and everything, we hope to see you again on the show. Really appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, come back soon.
Thank you for having me, and absolutely would love to come back.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so last is our indie recording spotlight for this week. So this week's recording artist spotlight is on the group called Moody Bear. Moody Bear is a new indie rock band based out of Everett, Washington. And this is from their album titled Mood Swings. And the song is named Cloud Line. So I'm Expat 2020. This has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. For my co-host Dan and our special guest, CorelianJedi, we will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Peace out.
Out.
I've been perusing a cloud again. It hurts my head to be grounded. The view that I get from way up here is so much clearer than looking in the mirror. Take me above that cloud nine. I'm oblivious to my life. I'm a daydreamless in my domino night. Take me above the cloud nine. I'd rather walk the line, utterly alone, than drag you along. Well, I'm looking for some gold. Nothing I can find brings any hope. I guess I'm not that old. I must just carry a crippled soul. Take me above that cloud nine. I'm oblivious to my life. I'm a never-ending wreck, and I'm losing my mind. Take me above the cloud line. There's some beauty in the light coming over the hills. On myself, give me a little thrill. Take me above that cloud line. I'm oblivious to my life. I'm a never-ending wreck, but I do alright. If you take